Today, we're talking about mockers. Now, if I'm honest, I used to have a hard time understanding what mockers were exactly in the book of Proverbs. But as I've gained life experience, I now have a clearer picture. Before we continue, I want to make sure that you know about the Proverbs Everyday Challenge. That's where we're reading the chapter of the Book of Proverbs that corresponds to the day of the month, covering the entire book. That's right, the entire book of Proverbs in just 1 month. If you want to watch more about it, go ahead, check out this video. It will be linked below. There are 4 types of people mentioned over and over again in the book of Proverbs, and we've already covered 3 of them: the wise, the simple, and the fool. Let's define each of their relationships to wisdom as a way of recapping. The wise seek wisdom, the simple don't have wisdom, and the fool ignores wisdom. Today we're covering the final type of person in the book of Proverbs, the mocker. Let's define the word mock. It means to tease, to ridicule, and to scoff. Mockers, therefore, aren't those who simply ignore wisdom like the fool, but those who actively oppose wisdom by demeaning those who are wise. Mockers are openly hostile to wisdom and seek to tear down those who live wisely. They're aggressive. They think they know everything, and they think that you are an idiot. We've always had mockers. In one of the oldest books of the Bible, the book of Job, taking place between Genesis 11 and Genesis 12, we see Job say, "I am surrounded by mockers. I watch how bitterly they taunt me." And we know from the New Testament that mockers will not only be with us to the very end, but they will increase in number. Paul wrote this to his protege Timothy. "You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. For people will only love themselves and money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. They will act religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly." Stay away from people like that. Then a reminder from Peter. Most importantly, I want to remind you that in the last days, scoffers will come, mocking the truth and following their own desires. Then a final reminder in Jude. They told you that in the last times there would be scoffers whose purpose in life is to satisfy their ungodly desires. We're not going to escape mockers. Jesus warned us, if the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. So if we can't escape mockers, what should we do? Over and over again in the book of Proverbs, we see wisdom given on how we should deal with mockers. I've condensed it down into these 3 things. First, once you've established that a person is indeed a mocker, as opposed to a simpleton who can learn, or a fool who can be shown the error of their ways, disengage from trying to impart wisdom to them. They've rejected wisdom, and you'll only get hurt. Proverbs 9, 7, and 8 says, "Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt." So don't bother correcting mockers. They will only hate you. I know this sounds harsh, but some people can only learn from the pain of their consequences. A mocker refuses to listen to correction. Jesus, in the Sermon on the Mount, said this, "Don't throw your pearls to pigs. They will trample the pearls and then turn and attack you." It's for this reason that I don't engage in debates on social media. It's a waste of time and only brings unnecessary pain. Second, if mockers won't leave you alone, remove them from your life. Again, I know this sounds harsh, but sometimes this is the only option. Proverbs 22:10 says, "Throw out the mocker and fighting goes too. Quarrels and insults will disappear." Proverbs 29:8 says, "Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger." When it comes to criticism, I'm all for it. When it comes to discussing different ideas, I'm all over it. I love to learn from other people in the right context. But there is a difference between debating and correcting versus personal attacks and insults. I've learned not to put up with it. Here on YouTube, I see comments and criticisms of my work all the time. But if things get personal, I block people with no remorse. Here's a free nugget of wisdom. Praise publicly, criticize privately. That's how you win friends and influence people. Finally, number 3, mockers should be punished for the benefit of others. Now, this only belongs to those who have the authority to punish, okay? So no vigilantes here. Proverbs 19:25 and 21:11 are very similar. If you punish a mocker, the simple-minded will learn a lesson. And if you punish a mocker, the simple-minded will become wise. Do you remember when this happened in school? A kid that was a mocker had to face the consequences of his actions, and that taught you not to do that. If you know what I'm talking about, go ahead and hit like. Now, as a society, I'm afraid we've forgotten this lesson. Parents swoop in to rescue their kids from laziness and stupidity, only to further set their children back in the future. Even governments bail out bad actors, ensuring everyone that consequences don't matter if you know the right people. If we, as a society, want to become a wise people, we must help connect the dots between poor decisions and bad outcomes. Well, that's it. Now we've covered all 4 types of people from the Book of Proverbs. What's one thing that you've learned from these past 4 videos? Let me know in the comments below. 1, it really helps the channel when you comment. And 2, it helps me know how well I'm communicating to you when you tell me what your takeaways are. I hope you did learn something in this video. If you did, would you please consider sharing it? Maybe send it as a text, put it on Facebook, and be sure to subscribe so that you can catch the next video when it drops on Thursday. Before we go, I want to tell you about Lifeword. Lifeword is an extremely great organization that is using broadcasting to share the good news of Jesus Christ all around the world. Go ahead and support them because they are amazing. We'll see you next time. Grace and peace.